Okay, guys, so because there were a lot of people absent today, I thought I would make a quick video to show you what we went over in class, and I'm going to make this as short as possible to review it quickly, and so if you need to go back and watch it again or review, you could do that. We started out by handing out this little half sheet of paper. It looks like this, and it goes in your notebook. I have printed this, or I have made a slide of this, and it is attached to this Edmodo post. So instead of having to get it when you get back, you can print it out yourself and then fill in the blanks if you'd like to. The blanks are already filled in on that sheet, or you can just print it off as it is. Actually, you won't have to write them in. So print it off so that you have this information about what a good title is. So we went through all of these things, what a good title is. I want you to pay special attention to the second one. A good title isn't a label or a description, as in my first ski trip. So you want your title to be something that's more than just a label. A label would be the time I won Special Person of the Week, or when I broke my leg, or my trip to Florida. So you want it to be more than that. You want it to be more than a description. It needs to speak to what's important about your message, or why that experience was important to you, why you remembered it, why you thought it was worth writing about, essentially, right? The right from the gut stuff that we talked about in one of our earlier entries. That's what we're going for in a title. So to help you with this, what I did is I brainstormed a bunch of titles for my own piece. And if you remember what that piece was, Clear and Strong, if you need a copy of it, it's in an old Edmodo post, so you can go find it and print it if you need to. But these are some ideas I had for my own. I thought, well, it could be a shocking lesson. It could be left off, not chosen, destined for failure, ouch, the lists, and Clear and Strong, which turned out to be the title that I chose. So all of these were titles I thought about. And in thinking about them, I then went back and said, okay, how well does this really sum up what I want to say? And this one right here, left off, I meant left off the list, remember, because I was left off of the first list the first time it was read at the beginning of the piece, remember? Because I didn't make the NHS, so I was left out, or left off. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. These I decided not to choose because these were really negative. If you'll remember, my piece is not just about a failure. It is about a failure, right? It's about a failure in my own life. But it's about more than that. It's about how I overcame that failure and how I turned that failure into a learning experience. So it doesn't end on a negative note. It ends on a positive note. And so I didn't want my title to give the impression that the whole piece was negative. And I think all of these, left off, not chosen, destined for failure, ouch, they're all very negative. So that's not what I was going for. I crossed them off. Then I looked at the other options. I have a shocking lesson. I think a shocking lesson is what my piece is about. It's about the lesson that I learned. But to say my piece is about a shocking lesson is almost to say too much. It's almost to tell the reader too much before they even read. I want them to figure out for themselves that this was a lesson I learned. I don't want to just have to say that to them. And you'll notice when you looked at this list of what makes a good title, one of the things that makes a good title is to leave some mystery for the reader to figure out. Leave the reader curious about what the piece is going to say. So this almost said too much. It's kind of boring for that reason, so I crossed it out. The lists. Now the lists is a little more interesting because we don't really know what the lists are when we read that title, and we don't know what the lists are about. But when I came to this bottom one, Clear and Strong, I thought it was a lot better. And here's why. Because Clear and Strong has a double meaning in my piece. If you read the last paragraph of my piece, it describes how I heard my name a year later after I had already learned my lesson. I heard my name in the loudspeaker, and I heard it clear and strong. Those are the last three words of my piece. When I wrote that piece, I ended with those three words for a reason. First of all, Clear and Strong describes how I heard my name. The first time I heard the list, my name was not on it. I didn't hear my name at all The second time, it felt like I heard it clear and strong. I was really listening for it. I was paying attention because I really wanted to know. And there it was, clear and strong, what I wanted to hear. So in one meaning, it literally describes the voice of the person in the office who's reading the names and reads the names clear and strong. But there's another meaning, because the words clear and strong describe other things as well. The word clear describes my conscience. Before, when I didn't make the NHS, I was guilty. I felt guilty about what I had done. I did not have a clear conscience. I had a guilty conscience. But then I made it right. And after I made it right, my conscience was cleared. And so not only did I hear my name, me, clear and strong, it's also me, my conscience is clear. And me, I am a stronger person. I have stronger character at the end of that piece. So not only as my voice, as the voice in my name read clear and strong, but it's me clearer and stronger for having had that experience. And that's really what my piece is about. It's about the change I went through, the transformation from somebody who wasn't so bright, really, to somebody who got a little bit smarter by making a mistake and made it right. So that's why I chose the title that I did. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through your piece and you're going to find words in the piece itself, maybe, that you think are good choices for a title, or it might be a word that's not in the piece, a descriptive phrase that's not in the piece, that's still going to speak to why it was important to you. It's going to give the reader some information about the theme or the important message of the piece without telling us too much, because you still want us to wonder, what's that about when they read it? I have an idea. It's clear and strong. Wow. That suggests something is clear and strong. That suggests something positive, but I don't really know what it is yet. And so then when I read, I find out. So that's what we did. We took our papers and we wrote on our papers some brainstorming. We did some brainstorming. I'll show you some of the kids that turned them in. For example, we took our final piece and we brainstormed some possible titles at the top. We just went to the top left corner of our page and we listed some possible titles for our piece, and we exchanged them with our neighbors. We talked about those possible titles and we decided on one. And when we decided on that one, we wrote it clearly at the top of our paper, nice and neatly. Then we turned the paper in, but that's not all we did. We also filled out a sheet that looks like this, right? This is the grading sheet. This is also attached to the Edmodo post. So you need to fill this grading sheet out by giving yourself a grade for each of these things. You circle a number. What do you think you deserve for each of those things? Then you turn the paper over and you write some answers to these questions. The questions about how you feel about your essay. What do you think is the best thing about it? The strongest thing? What do you think is the weakest thing? The thing that needs the most improvement? What do you now know about good writing that you didn't know before you did this? And then at the bottom, how much effort did you put into this? Be honest, okay? Don't try to brag. Don't try to be humble. Be honest. Just tell me the truth. How much effort did you put into it? So I have a sense of what you're able to do, okay? And how seriously you took it, okay? Because that helps me to know where you're at, right? That's basically it. Then we turned our papers in. We stapled them together with the grading sheet on the top, the essay, the final essay next, the drafts on the bottom. And you need all of those to turn it in. If you're turning it in on Monday because you didn't get it in today, and maybe you were in school but you still didn't get it done, you could turn it in late for 75%, or you can turn it in with a late assignment coupon if you want to use it for full credit. But you have to have all these pieces, and you have to have it all stapled together, and you have to have this sheet completely done. If you need a copy of it, it's attached to this Edmodo post, so print it out for yourself. If you have any questions, email me a question on Edmodo, and I'll try to respond to you before the end of the weekend. So enjoy your weekend. Bye.